Hi everyone, hi. I am here with my familiar Jade, and I'm going to do something different tonight that I've never done before. I'm wearing her hat. I asked you if I could wear it. Can I wear your hat? Okay, thank you. I'm here tonight to do a little ritual for Ostara. Now, it's been a long time since I've done a formal ritual, and I thought I would show you. This can be an example for you to do either tonight or on the next cross quarter, or on May Day, or just next week as the moon is starting to wax, okay? I have here a setup of a little altar. Let me bring you in closer. Well, both the girls are here now. If you can see this. This is just a little small altar, but this is the basic setup, what you might call a Wiccan altar. And I'm going to show you what I have done here for today for Ostara. I am representing the god for the solar holiday with the red candle over there. Typically what you would do is you would take the flame from one candle to light the other candle. And over here I have a blue one to represent the goddess. You could use white, you could use pink, you could use silver. Now I'm going to talk to you about the other things that represent the elements here. So for the solar holiday, I have this really cool candle holder that is a sun in the front. And I get most of my witchy supplies at thrift stores and dollar stores. A little candle back there to get that going. And then I have another symbol to represent the god, this deer with the antlers. Antlers typically represents the god. And now while I'm doing all this, you yourself would also be focusing on connecting to the sun and the moon. What we're doing tonight is an esbat because we're doing this at night. It's about 9 o'clock here, my time, Central Standard Time. Now I already had the candles over here going during the day, and the antler to draw in the energy of the god, the masculine energy during the day while I was here. And then I put it out when I had to leave the house. Now I need to go get a tea light for this, and I will be right back. All right, I have the tea light candle in the deer with the antlers right there. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the directions and the elements. Here I have north. To represent north, I am putting a little bowl of dirt, and you can use dirt or salt. And then going to the east, I have incense to represent the east, my incense holder. And this is basically how I had my setup for about at least 8 years. And here I have a special incense that I save when I want to really call in my main spirit guide. It is lotus. That's the word he gave me after I met him. So this has been very effective in helping me contact him when I need to. Now, you can get the incense out of your choice. Something that goes with spring and Ostara. I'm just going to get it ready. And then, for the south, you would put something here, preferably red. And so I would need another tea light candle to go in there. And then for the west, I have my sacred water goblet. This has been consecrated to the Lord and the Lady, which is for another video, and I did a self-initiation. Now here I have, if you see my videos on altars, my 2 screwdrivers. You'd have to watch those videos for the stories. This is my atame. They both got charged at different times during that first year that I was learning about myself. And then this one later got charged. And they both have steel, which is corresponds to strength. And this is my wand. So I'll be using this tonight to cast a circle. And that goes right there. Now in the center, I have a pentagram of Venus. It's always used, it is said to represent not only the elements, but also if you want to use the point up for spirit, but if you're working to manifest something in the physical, I usually put the point down. That can be in the center, or it can be here. Also, being the symbol of Venus, I think that it just makes sure that everything is under the umbrella of love and friendship, like insurance, a caveat with good to all concerned. Now, I'm going to light, here I have a symbol of the moon. This is all I have right now for a symbol of the moon. And I would need to get another tea light candle for this, for here, to represent the south. Now, I am actually facing south. And this is a very good direction to be facing if you want to do something for strength, for physical strength, for courage, anything relating to fire. So now I'm going to go get a little piece of paper to write out my petition and another tea light candle. Now I do have my candle snuffer close by. It's underneath this table. I'm not going to put it on the altar. Now you can play music while you are doing all this and getting in the mindset. As you are pulling out all of your supplies, you're thinking about your goal. As you are setting up your altar, you are thinking about your goal. And then you can be playing music if you want to. You are going to get a piece of paper to start to write out what has been on your mind. Now let me talk just one more minute about this candle over here, the red one to represent the God. It can have you can have a statue or a picture of a deity, a god and a goddess, if you have a statue or a picture. Now you can also have what your goal is. For me, I have a monetary goal, and so I've written it on a piece of paper over there on the red candle. It's been on there for several weeks. Now, since the winter solstice, I have been able to achieve one of my goals. And if you've been following me, you probably know what that is by now. Resources are a big thing, right? We cannot do very much if we don't have resources. And if you've had a setback or you're still trying to recover from the pandemic, then you might want to work on financial resources. Tonight we have a waning moon at 2%. tomorrow is going to be the dark moon. So we're going to be working to let things end, to release. So this is good for healing. This is good for letting go of anything. Letting go of ideas about money. Letting go of stress and strain related to finances. Letting go of anything you want to let go of if you're working to stop smoking cigarettes. Okay, those are the things that lend to the waning moon. Also, it can be a time for bringing a conclusion, to a relationship that maybe needs to end. So if you have goals for X amount of dollars, I actually sat down one time and watched videos to get some ideas, not only for Christmas presents, but for myself. And I wrote down all these items that represent the value of the dollar amount that I was looking for. So instead of a certain amount of money, you could just put what the value would be. For example, the picture, print out a picture of, say, a Toyota RAV4. You thought and you decided, I want a good reliable car, Toyota or a Honda, and you print out a picture, okay? I did that for several months, a few years ago. Okay, so something that might represent $10,000. And it could be several things. Now, the moon usually works with more short-term goals, not really big ones. And since we're working at night under the moon, then we would probably be accumulating several $1,000s at a time, maybe every 3 months. Okay? If you can set aside $2,000 within the next 2 months, that's great. It might take you 3 months. So this is something that would be working for the next 3 to 6 months. Probably just until the next cross quarter or May Day. So you're going to sit and you're going to write down either a dollar amount, or let's say I want to buy a used camper for $5,000 so that I can fix it up. It'll be cash, paid for, right? And I just need to find a place to park it, and then every month when I earn money, I'll be able to set more money aside because that particular housing will be paid for. And this is something that has been on my mind. So I have $5,000 on that piece of paper on that red candle over there. And so you put this here, and you can put it right there. And you take your... Right, now here's the part that you may not have done before. You may not even done this before. If you've been on strictly what's called a left-hand path, you may not have actually been introduced to the importance of learning about the balance that exists in all of us. We need to acknowledge the male and the female that lives within us. These two together is what creates, okay? So, and we want to have balance, and then we want to call in the elements, and we want to have Venus there for protection and for love. And then the direction you want to face. You have to think about that as well. So now I'm going to be casting a circle. And this is simply going to represent me stepping out of the mundane and into the spiritual, as well as standing in the center of the universe as I call out and raise my energy. And now you'll notice that I do have on my cone of power. This is also what helps us raise energy. Now up until this point, you should have been thinking about what you're going to be doing a couple days before. And while you're gathering your supplies, and while you are doing your setup here at your altar, you are raising energy. You are thinking, and you've got a cone of power on. Okay, so what I used to do was take an incense stick, if you do not yet have your wand, that's okay. You could use your finger, but I like to burn incense. And so I would take my incense stick and I would cast a circle. Now tonight, we have a waning moon. So I'm going to be casting the circle counterclockwise, or widdershins. And I'm going to say something like, as I cast this circle out of the mundane world and out of time and space, I enter into the spirit realm and stand in the center of the universe. And then I would put my incense stick in the incense holder so that it is burning as I am doing my working. Now with a wand, this is generally what a high priestess would use in a coven situation where she is going to be the one casting the circle or calling down the moon. But you take your wand and do the same thing, going widdershins on the waning moon. I cast the circle on the waning moon to represent me in the sacred space outside of the mundane as I do this working on Ostara. I don't know about you, but I get emotional and I start to tingle throughout my body. So you place it there and you stay there, and you could turn and face your altar, right? So here is where you can hold your hands together or do whatever you would like. You can continue to hold your wand. You are going to be releasing energy. I generally would use my hand. And here's where you're going to be stating, on this night and on this day of Ostara, we honor the Sabbath in the beginning of spring. If you have seeds, you can even pull out seeds at this time and you can place them on the altar and then you can bless them. I acknowledge the masculine and the feminine within me as represented here on the altar. The wonderful sun and the glorious moon. I acknowledge the elements, the universe above me. I'm tingling. You should feel a little bit of a tingle. If not now, then you will eventually as you do this more. Energy has been raised. I am working to obtain whatever it is you've put on this paper. I ask that my God and my Goddess, or the masculine and the feminine powers within me, come together to help create this. If I need the courage or I need the information, which a lot of times is really what all we need and we just haven't had access to it. Bring me the knowledge, bring me the information that could help me achieve my next goal. And I thank you, all my guides, all my spirit guides, all my holy guardian angels that have helped me so far to achieve the goal that I've just achieved. which I didn't even think I could do. I didn't know how. You've shown me, you've helped me. I've been guided from within. I ask to be led, to know how I can achieve my next goal. Whatever it is, I need good, reliable transportation. I've done my research, and I want this. I need this. Or I need to build up a cash reserve. Or I need to pay down my car. Whatever your goal is. If it could be to get a proper diagnosis for the illnesses that I keep having, that keeps coming back, to find the right doctor, to get the right diagnosis, whatever it is. And here's where you can sing a song, or you can chant, or you can be quiet, and you can think of raising the energy, keep talking about your goal, keep thinking of what it is that you need. And my hands are tingling. So when I am done, I would simply raise my hands and say the very last bit of my goal. And in the name of the God and the Goddess, I declare, is done. And simply project your hands up and out. Now, here's where you would sit and actually meditate after you're working. You should be feeling a little bit lightheaded. You may want to put out the incense if you need to do that at this time. You can sit and meditate. You can listen to some very nice music if you can. And then you're going to close the circle. Now, I usually would use my hand, but in this case, I'm going to go clockwise, which is the opposite direction. I thank all my guides, guardians, and angels for coming and assisting me in this ritual. I thank you for helping me. I now uncast the circle as my spell is done. And I thank each and every one. It is done. Now, I used to have a special little rhyme that I would say. I can't even remember what it is right now. Something about as I bring the circle to the ground, and I would cross my fingers and do that. But you get the idea. Now, at this time, you finished your meditation. You have done some maybe listening to music, thinking about what you've just done, and you've closed the circle. This is where you would get up and go and have a bite to eat to ground yourself. If it's late at night, obviously just have maybe a little bit of yogurt, maybe some a few crackers and something to drink. So I hope this has been helpful and enjoyable, whatever path you're on. This is not just Wicca, guys, okay? This is psychological spirituality. And this is something you should always remember no matter what you're doing at a sacred space. Thank you. Blessed be. Namaste. And